Happy Monday, everyone. It is Monday morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend. As always, I should have made a few shackles, hopefully this weekend. And as always, we ask you turn your closed captions on. And of course, tip sheets for this upcoming weekend, big weekend over at Saratoga for sure. Please email us at speedking24@yahoo.com. Our all stakes tip sheets are $15. Did very well this weekend on the tip sheets, particularly via way of Laurel. Well, we're here to take a look at Thursday's Grade 2 Glen Falls Stakes over there at beautiful Saratoga. Well, it's race number 9 on the card. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, 1.5 miles. Of course, it's on the turf. We got a full field of 7. It's $250,000. Let's dive in. This won't take long. Well, like I said, the full field of 7, the first thing that's notable in the Grade 2 Glen Falls Stakes on Thursday is that in the field of 7, 3 of the horses shouldn't be in. This is how you know there is a shortage of horses. The number 5 horse, the number 6, and the number 7, in my humble opinion, should not be in this race. And I don't mean that they can't win the race because they're going to the gate. Obviously, they can win the race. But from a handicapping standpoint, you can tell that these horses was fill-ins, right? These horses would have to burst into flames to beat the other 4. So right away, from a handicapping standpoint, in my opinion, the 5, 6, and 7 are out in the win hole. They can't win. Okay, so I'm going to give you my top 3 picks in the race, and maybe we'll round out a super factor for sure. And we're going to go right to the number 3 horse. That's right, Amazing Grace. If for no other reason, for the name, right? I mean, Amazing Grace. I mean, please, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, Amazing Grace is a very fine 5-year-old by protectionist, for sure, on the back hill by Dunhill, trained by that man. Mama is Christopher Clement. And you got the smooth services of Tyler Gaffleon, which I never have a problem with. Well, Amazing Grace has 18 starts, 5 wins, 4 seconds, and 5 thirds. Last ran in a very nice race, in my opinion, earned a beautiful speed figure, and the pace numbers are even on this horse. On June 6th at Belmont Park in the Gold Cup Stakes, Grade 2, the horse ran 4th. Now, 4th isn't where the horse, where we want to see him, but it was a very contentious race, and running 4th in that race, earning the speed figure that he did, or that she did, excuse me, isn't nothing to sneeze at. She was behind, who was it? Sakani, right? Who's a very nice turf horse. That horse was 80 cents to $1 that day. And to me, the Amazing Grace has every opportunity in here to win this race. And it'll be our first pick for sure. Our second pick, well, we're going to go right inside to the number 1 horse. This is my boy. It's Billy Mott, who's going great guns, obviously. He's got some very nice horses in his barns, as always, on big winning streaks. And the number 1, Warlike Goddess. Well, this gal needs no introduction by English Channel for sure. He has 10 wins from 15 starts, right? 1 win this year out of the 2 starts, right? Well, this 6-year-old got the Rolex guy in the arm, Joel Rosario, and Billy Mott's doing all the training. Well, this one comes out of the Breeders' Cup Turf 3 races back on November 5th and ran 3rd and earned a beautiful speed figure. Any way that Warlike Goddess runs that race 3 back in the Breeders' Cup Turf Cup, they'll never beat this horse, right? But subsequently, the 2 races this year aren't nearly as good as that race 3 back. Well, the horse did win the Bewitched Stakes on April 28th for sure, earned a decent speed figure, came back in the Grade 1 New York Stakes and ran 6. So this mare is coming in on an off race, hasn't run since June 9th. That's typical Billy Mott, 6 to 8 weeks of rest. Warlike Goddess, to me, is clearly the horse to beat, even though he's our second pick here behind the number 3 horse, Amazing Grace. We like our top 2 picks equally here. The number 3 horse, Amazing Grace, and of course the number 1, Warlike Goddess, is our second pick. And I guess, I don't know how I get around not putting Chad Brown in for sure, right? Well, McCulloch. McCulloch doesn't need much of an introduction either. McCulloch is a fine horse in her own right. I love the bloodline on this horse by Frankel, right? 3 wins from 10 starts, 4 seconds, and 2/3. So 9 times in the money out of 10 starts for this 4-year-old. We know she has a bright future. She comes out of the same race that Warlike Goddess came out of, the New York Stakes Grade 1 for sure. She ran third that day, earned a better speed figure than Warlike Goddess, and of course is going to be really, really tough. So in this year's Glen Falls Grade 2, again, the 5, 6, and 7, in my opinion, are not horses to consider in the win hole. They can't beat all 4 of these horses. They may beat 1 or 2, but they're just not good enough. And I know the racing secretary filled this race with horses because there's a shortage of them, and it's really clear in this race that they just don't have enough horses. So the 5, 6, and 7, in my opinion, in the Glen Falls should not be considered in the win hole for sure. Our top pick here will be the number 3 horse, the Amazing Grace, the Christopher Clement horse. And of course, my boy Billy Mott has Warlike Goddess, the number 1 horse, who we like equally. And then we round out our trifecta with McCulloch. So for us, it's 3, 1, 4 in that order. And obviously, if you had to round out a super, we would put the number 2 horse, Virginia Joy, the other Chad Brown runner. So once again, there it is, 3, 1, 4. In that order, in this year's Glen Falls 9th race over there at beautiful Saratoga on Thursday. Talk to y'all real soon. Again, tip sheets will be available for this upcoming weekend. Please email me at speedking24@yahoo. Have a great work week, a great safe work week. It cooled off a little bit, so it should be a nice week. Stay classy, y'all. I'll be back to you as we get our next weekend racing.